Hello and welcome to the Valley. Today I am your host, Janet Michael. I'm sitting today at the Winchester area SPCA home, original home of my Briscoe and my Miller. So it's like a homecoming. Right. Coming back, sitting with Lavinda Denny. She is the executive director here. Lavinda, before we jump in the weeds about the membership drive that you're having this month, tell people a little bit about the Winchester SPCA because you have changed so much over the years. It is such a nice building now. You have a thrift store. There's a lot that is going on here.
It is. We have a large campus. I've been here almost 10 years now, and the budget just keeps growing because we are just offering more community programs and services to those in our area. You're sitting in our adoption center. This is where our pets come after they are spayed and neutered and vaccinated and ready for adoption. To the side of us is our thrift stores, 10,000 square feet of anything you ever wanted, and all of those proceeds support our adoption center. In the thrift store, we have a small vet clinic that supports TNR clinics, trap, neuter, return, with local rescue organizations, and our part-time vet takes care of all of our shelter vets there to make sure they're all ready for adoption. And then the original building we still use for intake.
Oh.
So all the animals that come in, the most vulnerable animals, they go into the old building, and that's where they're processed and where they stay until they're ready to come up here. And so we use all of the unusual areas on our campus, and we have grown. We're so grateful to have donors who remodeled the thrift store for us at no cost to us, and a donor who gave us the money to remodel the vet clinic space.
Is there a coffee? There's a coffee shop in the thrift store, right?
There is. There is a free coffee bar in the thrift store. You can come in anytime. We're getting ready to put a little one up here in the lobby.
Oh, see, that's perfect.
Yes.
You can come have coffee with the
With the
kitties.
cats, yeah. So Timber's Cafe, I don't know if you know of them, but it's named after a husky named Timber, and they're going to give us free grounds. And so,
Nice.
yeah, we just ordered our supplies. And so, yeah, it's a great campus. It's an amazing location right here off of Featherbed Lane, and we just love people to stop in.
And for the most part, you're handling dogs and cats, but you
Yes.
do have an occasional rabbit or gerbil or something like that, right?
We do. It only ends up being about 1% of our service, but we take in, as long as it's domestic. We don't do any wildlife. We refer all of that to the amazing Blue Ridge Wildlife, right? We're so lucky to have that. But any domestic animals, so if people have a domestic hamster or a rabbit and for some reason they can't care for it, or unfortunately some people release them, and if they're found outdoors, then animal control brings them to us. Yes.
So April is your membership drive month. Tell me a little bit about what that is and why it's important.
We are a 501c3 that's governed by bylaws, and we are a membership organization. Our memberships start at $25 for senior citizens and go up to $1,000 for those who would like to be lifetime members. Membership fees help us with everything that's done. Our make-ready cost to get an animal ready for adoption averages $360 per animal. Well, you're talking about a spay-neuter surgery, vaccines, a behavioral evaluation, whatever training, nutrition, exercise is necessary to make sure that animal is ready. The average stay is about 14 days, so that covers that 14 days. So the money earned from membership fees just helps us to operate and provide all of that care that they need until they're ready for adoption.
Part of this drive is going to include pet first aid, which
Yes.
I thought was an interesting spin. As a first-time dog owner, we got, like I said, we got Briscoe and Miller from here.
Yes.
I was totally in the dark. I had no idea and would freak out over the smallest of things, not realizing, oh, I can deal with this.
Right.
That's really cool that you're incorporating that in.
It is. I noticed it was Pet First Aid Awareness Month, so we ordered some little kits, and they're just mini kits, but it does have like a pet first aid quick facts in it. Animals can have accidents just like humans. So if your dog were to suffer like a paw burn on a really hot summer day, which is becoming more and more common as we're warming, it has a little tick remover with it. And it's just a small little packet. You can keep it right in the glove box of your car, in your kitchen drawer, not the junk drawer, but the one where you know everything is. Just some antiseptic towels, just some basics. Just like us, when they have a little wound, you have to clean it off, put a little antibacterial ointment on it, and watch it to make sure it's not something you need to go to the vet for. But we all have Band-Aids, right, in our cabinet. So this is like your Band-Aids for your dogs or cats. I'm sure the cat would really appreciate it.
I would say, I'd like to watch somebody try to put a Band-Aid on a cat.
Yeah. So we just wanted to thank the members that we do have. So if you're already a member, you can come in and get your free kit. And if you'd like to become a member, you can sign up online on our website, winchesterspca.org, under membership, or you can sign up here at the front desk.
And you don't have to be a member in order to adopt an animal, though I would imagine a lot of people end up adopting an animal and then becoming a member.
Yeah, sometimes. I think membership organizations for the new generation are it's an oddity. We have 2,000 supporters and donors and only about 400 members.
Oh.
But we do encourage several times a year for people to join us. The beauty with membership is that you get to help with our leadership. So members vote at our annual meeting on who serves on our board of directors. And as an added bonus, members always get an additional 10% off at the thrift store, no matter what the price.
Oh.
So if she's doing a dollar sale, you're still going to get your 10% off. It's always additional for members. You just have to show that membership card and they're going to give you that 10%.
I love that.
Yeah, that's a good one. And like our staff, a lot of them, that's why they join. They want to be at the annual meeting. They want to see about the growth of the Winchester SPCA, see who's in charge at a high level. And they love the thrift store. So getting an extra 10% off those already low prices is really good, especially when you're in an economy like you are now, where prices are going up everywhere. Every little bit helps.
And it's very beneficial for you because this business, I say using air quotes, isn't predictable. So you could go 3 days and not have an animal surrendered to you that you then have to go through that process in order to turn it around and get it adopted. But you could have 3 days where you get 30 animals in. So having that set, I know I have this many members that are paying this, really helps from a budgeting perspective.
It really does. It really does. And it's funny that you mentioned that 30 number. Last year on a day in August, we had 30 intakes in one day.
What?
Yeah. And an intake takes about half an hour. You can do the math. Right?
No.
Yeah. So we literally had like a triage set up where you're just going from one to the other to the other. So you're right. It's totally unpredictable. The warm season is much busier for us when litters of kittens are being born and brought to us. And so we just always have to be prepared. You never know what's going to happen.
And that's what makes it, I guess, interesting every day. You have no idea what's going to happen when you walk in the doors in the morning.
That's true. No day is the same. It's literally different. We're dealing with living things. So you're going to have different dogs, different cats every day, different customers over at Thrift, different adopters here, different humane education opportunities. Last week we had 3 days in a row where we had kids in for our adopt a pet party. So there was just kids everywhere for an entire week. And that's very different than today, when it's very quiet. We try to do everything that we can. I think we have 12 active programs now where we're reaching out to different parts of the community to try to meet whatever need is there. And that's our job as a 501c3. And so we just continue to do that. But we can't do it without support. Like that's the bottom line. Our donorship is what drives our organization, and we are so grateful for that.
I would imagine volunteers play a pretty large role in what you do as well.
Yep, we have about 500 of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we just celebrated them at our annual meeting. Our volunteer of the year this year was Mr. Bill Shanholtz. He comes in the morning, he cleans kennels for us. He helps with our transfer program, which is a program where we pull pets from other shelters where they may be at risk for space-related euthanasia.
Because you are a no-kill shelter.
We are a no-kill
and have
shelter.
Been for a lot of years.
Yeah, 2014, before I came. And that means we're saving over 90% of the animals in our care. Last year, with 98%.
Wow.
Really great. A really great save year.
Before we wrap up, I want to give a shout out to some of the pets. So you mentioned a second ago that your typical stay is about 14 days. How long has the longest dog been in the shelter? Do we need to find him or her a home?
That would probably be Maribel. She's a senior dog who needs to be an only dog. She has the best, sweetest disposition, and you would never expect that she did not like the company of other dogs. But it turns out she's over that. And so,
yes, she's beyond.
She is. So she would love to have a home where it was just quiet and maybe her and another person or a couple other people, but no other pets. And whenever we get those singles, right, that they really just do not enjoy the company of other pets, it's hard to place them.
That's something else that I don't know that a lot of people from the outside looking in would realize, the work that goes into finding a good home for any particular animal, is that you have to know those things. When you talk about behavior and training and all of that sort of stuff, you've got to make sure that when that animal leaves here and goes to its forever home, that it is going to be a forever home.
We sure hope so. Sometimes it's hard because if a stray comes to us, we have no history on that animal. An owner surrender is different because they can provide us with information. But yeah, then we do behavioral evaluations. We interact as a staff, but sometimes they go home and they're just different. Maybe they're decompressing and then their real personality shows out. This is sort of like being incarcerated. So they may behave differently here than they do when they get home. But we have a foster to adopt program. So if there's a pet that we are concerned, maybe its behavior is not showing up right, then we can do a foster to adopt where they can go home for a couple weeks. And if it works out, then the person can finalize. And if not, they can give us information about the pet so that we know more going forward.
That, if I'm not mistaken, and so people have heard me tell this story about you so many times over the years since we've gotten the dogs. That's what I started off to be.
Right, that's what you did.
Is they were little. They were tiny puppies, and they were too young for actual adoption yet.
Right.
And you and I had the conversation. I distinctly remember saying, Lavinda, I want to record a show with puppies crawling all over me. And you, my friend, heard Janet wants a puppy.
Oh, that's totally what you said. I think it was, I've been thinking about getting a puppy, or my husband wants a puppy. I just know somebody wanted a puppy.
And little would I have known that just 2-3 short months later, I would get the email with the picture of both the dogs.
Right.
Tim and I picked one, and then he showed up here that day to get it, and then was told the story about the other, and we walked out of here with both of them.
I remember that very well. Always been so grateful. And who knew they were going to grow so big? Yeah, even as puppies, I wouldn't have suspected they would have been the size.
So the interesting part of that is we had a flood in the basement last spring, and so we cleaned out the basement. One of the things that I found in the basement was the carrier that you loaned us to bring them home. And so I have it in the car to give back to you.
Okay.
But as I was bringing it upstairs last night, I'm looking at it and I'm looking at the dogs, and I'm like, how did the two of you, tiny little puppies, both fit into this carrier, and now you're 85 pounds apiece?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm so glad they belong to you, though.
So where can people go get more information? Give me your website, your hours, give me all of those sorts of things.
Yes. So our adoption center is our main hub, 111 Featherbed Lane, Winchester, right in the city. Website, winchesterspca.org. You can click on membership if you're interested in that. You can check out our events. We have business sponsorship opportunities. We talk about adoption in there. So it's a great comprehensive website. And that's the best way to get to know us. And then we just love to have you join.
And then follow on Facebook and on social media.
Facebook and Instagram and TikTok.
Fantastic. Thank you for taking the time to give me some of this information.
Thank you for being here. It's great to see you.
We're going to take a quick break here with Lavinda, and then what's going to happen is something totally different in the next segment. I'm going to meet up with Guy Curtis, not from Laurel Ridge. Well, yes, he is still from Laurel Ridge, but in this case, we're going to talk about a capital campaign that the Frederick County National Little League team is doing. So I'll be back with that in just a couple of minutes.